Emma never believed that one wrong text message could change her life. It was a rainy Friday evening in New York City. The streets glowed under reflections of neon lights, and people hurried home to escape the cold weather. Emma sat alone in a small coffee shop near her apartment, typing on her laptop while sipping a cup of hot coffee. At 26, she was focused on her career as a graphic designer. Love was the last thing on her mind. Her last relationship had ended badly a year ago, and since then she had built walls around her heart. As she packed her things and prepared to leave, her phone vibrated. A text message from an unknown number appeared. "I know today was difficult, but I just want you to remember that you're stronger than you think. Everything will be okay." Emma frowned. The message clearly wasn't meant for her. She typed back, "I think you have the wrong number." A few seconds later, another message arrived. "Oh no. I'm sorry. That's embarrassing." Emma smiled. "It happens. Well, since I've already embarrassed myself, I hope your day wasn't difficult too." Emma laughed softly. It was such an unexpected response. Actually, it was a long day. Then maybe the message wasn't sent to the wrong person after all. For the first time in weeks, Emma smiled genuinely. That should have been the end of the conversation. But it wasn't. Over the next few days, they kept texting. The stranger introduced himself as Daniel. He was 28 years old and worked as an architect. They talked about movies, music, dreams, and childhood memories. Somehow, conversations with Daniel felt easy, natural, comfortable, unlike anyone Emma had met before. One night, Daniel asked, "What's something you've always wanted to do?" Emma thought for a moment. "See Paris." "Really?" "Yes. I've dreamed about it since I was a little girl. Then one day you'll see it." "Maybe, not maybe." "Definitely," Emma smiled at her screen. No one had ever believed in her dreams so confidently. Weeks turned into months. Their conversations became part of their daily lives. Good morning texts. Late-night conversations. Random jokes during work hours. They still hadn't met. Neither seemed in a hurry. The connection felt special. Pure. One evening Daniel called her for the first time. Emma hesitated before answering. When she finally picked up, his voice was warm and calm. "Hello, Emma." Her heart skipped a beat. For 2 hours they talked about everything and nothing. When the call ended, Emma sat quietly on her couch. She couldn't stop smiling. Something was happening. Something she hadn't expected. She was falling for someone she'd never met. A few weeks later, Daniel finally suggested meeting. "How about Saturday?" he asked. Emma froze. Part of her was excited. Another part was terrified. What if reality wasn't as magical as their conversations? What if they met and everything changed? Still, she agreed. Saturday arrived. Emma spent an hour choosing what to wear. She wanted to look nice without seeming like she tried too hard. Finally, she left her apartment and headed toward the restaurant. Her heart raced the entire way. When she arrived, she spotted him immediately. Daniel was sitting near the window. Tall, dark hair, kind eyes. And when he saw her, he smiled. The same smile she had imagined countless times. Emma walked toward him. For a second, neither spoke. Then Daniel stood up. "You look exactly how I imagined." Emma laughed nervously. "Hopefully that's a good thing." "It definitely is." The evening felt effortless, just like their conversations. Hours passed without either noticing. When they finally left the restaurant, snow had begun falling softly from the sky. The city looked magical. Daniel walked her home. When they reached her building, they stopped. Neither wanted the night to end. "I had a really good time," Emma said. "So did I." For a moment, they simply looked at each other. Then, Daniel gently kissed her forehead. "Good night, Emma." She watched him walk away, and for the first time in years, her heart felt completely alive. Over the next several months, their relationship grew stronger. They explored the city together, visited museums, tried new restaurants, took long walks through Central Park. Every moment felt easy. Comfortable, real, Emma found herself imagining a future with him, a future she had never allowed herself to imagine before. Then, one day, everything changed. Daniel received a job offer in California. It was an incredible opportunity, a chance he'd worked toward for years. But it meant moving across the country. Neither knew what to do. One evening they sat together on a park bench. Neither spoke for a long time. Finally, Daniel broke the silence. "If I stay, I'll always wonder what could have happened." Emma nodded. "I know, but if I leave," his voice trailed off. Emma looked away. Tears filled her eyes. The thought of losing him hurt more than she expected. Weeks later, Daniel moved. The goodbye was one of the hardest moments of their lives. At the airport, they held each other tightly. Neither wanted to let go. "I love you," Daniel whispered. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too." Then he walked away. For months they tried long distance. Video calls, texts, late-night conversations. But life became busy. Schedules became complicated. Time zones created challenges. Slowly, the distance between them grew. Calls became shorter. Messages became less frequent. Until one day, after a difficult conversation, they decided to end the relationship. Not because they stopped loving each other, but because they believed life was pulling them in different directions. Emma cried for weeks. She deleted photos, avoided places they used to visit, tried to move forward. Yet a part of her heart never truly let go. 2 years passed. Life continued. Emma focused on work. Her career flourished. She even received an opportunity to work on a major design project in Paris, the city she'd always dreamed of visiting. When she landed in Paris, she couldn't believe it. The Eiffel Tower, the charming streets, the beautiful cafes. It felt like stepping into a dream. One afternoon, she sat outside a small cafe near the Seine River. The sun shone warmly overhead. For the first time in a long time, she felt peaceful. Then she heard a familiar voice behind her. "Emma?" Her heart stopped. Slowly, she turned around. Daniel stood there. For a moment, neither moved. Neither spoke. They simply stared at each other. It felt impossible. "What are you doing here?" Emma finally asked. Daniel laughed. "I could ask you the same thing." They sat together, talking for hours, catching up on 2 years of life. Emma learned that Daniel had completed several major projects across Europe. One of them happened to be in Paris. The coincidence felt unbelievable, yet somehow perfect. As the evening approached, they walked along the river together, just like old times. Comfortable, natural, familiar. At one point, Daniel stopped walking. He looked at her carefully. "Can I tell you something?" Emma nodded. "There hasn't been a single day when I didn't think about you." Her breath caught. Daniel continued. "I tried moving on. I really did." His voice shook slightly. "But no matter where I went, no matter what happened, part of my heart stayed with you." Emma felt tears forming, because she understood exactly what he meant. For years she had felt the same. "I never stopped thinking about you either," she admitted. The city lights reflected in the water. People walked past them, yet the world seemed to disappear. It was just the two of them, standing there, after all this time, after all the distance, after all the missed opportunities. Daniel reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out his phone, smiling softly. "Do you remember the first message I ever sent you?" Emma laughed through her tears. "The wrong number?" "Yes," he looked down. "That accidental message changed my life." Emma smiled. "It changed mine, too." Daniel stepped closer. This time, I don't want distance to separate us. Neither did she. Without another word, Emma wrapped her arms around him. Daniel held her tightly, and beneath the glowing lights of Paris, the city she had always dreamed of visiting, they found something even more beautiful than a dream. They found each other again. Because sometimes love doesn't disappear. Sometimes it waits. Patiently, quietly, through distance, through time, through every obstacle life places in its path. And when the moment is finally right, it finds its way back home.